everybody, how are you doing? My name is Seanna Thomas, and I am a registered holistic nutritional consultant. My company is called Hockey Snacks, and we provide fresh fuel and information and education for teams and tournaments all over. And we have paired up with the GTHL to bring you Nutrition Tuesday. So if this is your first time seeing us on Nutrition Tuesday, welcome. And if you've been here before, then you know we create nice, easy recipes for you guys. And we want to fuel more wins for you. So we want you to be able to utilize these recipes in your own life and use them to help you gain more energy and perform better as an athlete. So I would encourage you, if you're just hopping on now and this is your first time seeing us, I will encourage you to take a second, go over to the Hockey Snacks Instagram page, give us a follow. We would really appreciate it, and you'll get lots of great information, recipes, interviews, all that good stuff. So I'd really appreciate it. But definitely come on back, because we are about to make a great recipe that any of you can make at home, and it's super easy. We're keeping it really simple today. But before we get to the recipe, I want to talk a little bit about pasta. So today we are making a pasta salad. And I want to talk about pasta because when it comes to hockey players or athletes in general, pasta is always on the menu, and there's a really good reason for that. So pasta is carbohydrates, and carbohydrates for you guys especially is pure energy. Now what happens is carbohydrates, when you ingest them, they turn into sugar in your body, and they're stored in your muscles as glycogen, and they're just waiting to be used as energy. And because hockey is an anaerobic activity, which means that you're sprinting and you're stopping and you're slowing down and you have fast moments and slow moments, carbohydrates are the energy that you want to utilize first. This is the energy that your body is going to go to first for these sorts of activities. And so you want to make sure that you constantly are making sure that you have enough carbohydrates in your body and stored in your muscles for energy. So what are carbohydrates other than pasta? We've got rice, bread, potatoes, anything that's a fiber, a sugar, or a starch. Those fall under the category of carbohydrates. So pasta is a really good one because it's nice and easy. Most people like it, but there are different kinds of pasta, and I'm not talking about the different shapes, okay? All the different shapes don't matter, but what does matter is the type of pasta that you choose. Now, typically, white pasta is sort of the go-to. I would encourage you maybe to look down the aisle and see if you can pick some other pastas that maybe have a little bit more fiber, some more whole grains in there. Whole wheat pasta, pasta that has some different ancient grains in there. You can get all sorts of pasta these days. Quinoa pasta, spelt pasta, kamut. There's so many. And I would encourage you to try out some different ones and see how you like them. If you don't like them, that's totally fine. And if you want to stick to the white pasta, go ahead. The only thing about white pasta is it's pretty nutritionally void. So you want to make sure with your sauces and things that you're adding to it, that you're adding that nutrition, those vitamins and those minerals in there. Because otherwise, yes, you're giving your body energy, and those carbohydrates are great. But you know, anything that's really more processed, which is the white pastas, aren't going to give you as many nutrients as a whole wheat or whole grain pasta would. And of course, if you're wheat intolerant or gluten intolerant, there's lots of options for you out there now as well. So don't feel like you can't make this just because it's pasta. I've talked about why pasta is good for you. I've talked about all the different kinds you can get, but also when should you eat it, right? So carb loading is something that hockey players or athletes, professional athletes in general, used to do a lot of. And you can still carb load these days, but it's in a completely different way. So instead of just loading up on carbs right before your game on game day, what you want to do is make sure that your muscles are full of carbohydrates and that you've really eaten enough carbohydrates leading up to, say, a tournament, so that you have tons of energy stored in your muscles and it's ready to go. So I would say 2 to 3 days leading up to say a tournament, not a game. Like if it's just a game and you're eating carbohydrates on a consistent basis, then you don't need to worry about carb loading. But if you have a big tournament coming up where you're going to be playing a lot of games in one day, then yeah, you can kind of ease up on your practices and eat a few more carbohydrates the 2 to 3 days leading up to it to make sure that you have those stores that are ready to go. I hope that makes sense. If you guys have any questions, you can always hop over to Hockey Snacks and send me a message, and I'm happy to answer any of the questions that you have. I also, next week on the GTHL, will be doing a Q&A, so you can always send us questions there as well. So speaking of that, that is how I would use carbohydrates as a pre-game fuel. Definitely, as we get closer to game time, you want to make sure that you're having something that doesn't have as much protein and fiber in it and is pure carbohydrates. But pasta is something that will take your body some time to digest, so you don't want to be eating this like an hour before you get on the ice. You definitely want to give your body, I would say, 3 to 4 hours to digest something like this, but definitely still good as a pre-game meal. Now, the pasta salad I'm going to make today doesn't have a protein in it, doesn't have any sort of meat or beans or anything like that. But if we're talking about this as a post-game recovery snack, you want carbohydrates because you want to replace those energy stores that you just lost, but you also want protein to help your muscles repair and recover. So definitely you could make this and eat it as a pre-game meal, take it with you, but afterwards you want to add some protein to it. So really this can be used as pre-game fuel and a post-game recovery snack. So keep that in mind. This is something you can make ahead of time and really utilize it for energy and recovery, which is something that is very cool. Okay, so let's get to the recipe. So when we're talking about pasta salads, and you see them a lot, at barbecues or potlucks, or maybe your family makes them a lot, sometimes the dressing is mayonnaise based and very heavy, and we want to stay away from that, even if we're eating it 3 to 4 hours ahead of time. If you really want to fuel your body, you want to stay away from things like mayonnaise or really heavy dressings and creams, because you know what, it's just going to weigh you down. And those fats are going to take a long time to metabolize in your body. So you want to have something that's really good and gives you something back. Mayonnaise doesn't really have a benefit, but today we're going to be using Greek yogurt in our dressing. So still that creaminess and that great, dressing, but definitely yogurt is going to give you a little bit of protein and some, minerals that maybe you wouldn't get from mayonnaise. So first things first is we're going to make our dressing in the bowl. And so what I did is I have some Greek yogurt here, and really I sort of eyeballed it. So I don't have, exact measurements, which is great because it means that you guys can add what you like. So if you have a pasta salad recipe that you make yourself at home and you use mayonnaise right now, think about swapping that out, sour cream or mayonnaise, swap it out for Greek yogurt and see how you like it. Because honestly, unless it's like really heavily dressed and you can really tell the difference, you still get that creaminess and it's going to satisfy you. So the yogurt, like I said, has protein in it, so we're just going to add that in. And what I really like in a pasta salad is pesto. So I have one here that I made myself, and it is, basil, pine nuts, garlic, Parmesan cheese, and some really great olive oil. Now, olive oil is a healthy fat that is going to have some benefit for you, but once again, you don't want to have this too close to getting on the ice. But we're going to add just a little bit of pesto in here, and we're going to mix that together. So my light is going because I think it's starting to thunderstorm outside, but I'm going to just mix that yogurt and pesto together, and I think I just got my forehead. And we're just going to mix that together, and then later on we're going to add some salt and pepper to taste. So this is clearly something that you guys can make at home for your family, something really, really simple, or parents, something that you can make and leave in the fridge for your kids. And I mean, I'm making one that is really extra simple today, but think about what you like. You can make a ham and cheese pasta salad. You can make a broccoli, and roasted vegetable pasta salad. You could make a Mexican with beans and corn and tomatoes and all this stuff pasta salad. You can get absolutely creative and add what you like. Use different shapes of pasta, use different kinds of pasta. Get really creative and try it out. Try using it as a pre-game fuel or a pre-activity fuel, or as a post-game recovery snack with a little bit of extra protein. So now we have, it's such a simple dressing. We add that, and then I have here, these are actually called green garlic, so they're like a cross between garlic and onion, but I really like onion in a pasta salad, but this one's just a little slightly different, so we're gonna add that. I'm also adding just green peas. So these are from the freezer, they're just thawed, nothing fancy, but you know, I like to add and up our green quotient for the day. So we're adding in our green peas, and we're adding in some roasted cherry tomatoes. So if you're not a fan of tomatoes, of course you don't have to add this to yours. Do whatever you want. In fact, you can just have pasta and sauce. I'm not saying you have to have a pasta salad, but I just wanted to give you guys an option and let you know how easy it can be to combine all of these flavors. So we're adding that in to our sauce, and we're starting just to kind of mix that together, if you guys can see, nice and creamy. And then we're gonna add, this is whole grain macaroni. So we are gonna add all of this in, and we are just gonna mix it together. Now, I'm not a huge sauce fan, like I don't want it to be too saucy. So that of course just depends on how much pasta you add to it, and it is all about personal preferences, right? And this is what I want you guys to do. I want you to take ownership of your nutrition and think about what you like and how you can use it to fuel yourself properly and to have more energy. Think of this as that extra edge, you know, that other teams may not have. They may have the development and the skating coaches and, you know, all that practice time. But if you have the nutrition edge, that means you're gonna have more energy in the third period when they may not. So think about it that way. I know sometimes you think, you know, nutrition's boring, why do I care? I can eat whatever and I have tons of energy. But think about it as a healthy habit you're developing, and as you grow, it's going to matter. You're going to want those extra bursts of energy in the third period, and I'm telling you, this is something that can give it to you. So we've mixed all that together. We have our peas, tomatoes, our garlicky onions, our sauce, and I like to just throw in a little bit of parsley too, just to make it look pretty. And that's really it, you guys. Now, I would taste it. I don't have a little tasting spoon here, and you can add salt and pepper to jazz it up, and have it, you know, just to taste how you like it. But this is something that is simple, easy, and definitely such a good energy source for you guys. Just really be wary of the sauces. Don't, you know, the reason I'm showing you how easy this is too is so you don't buy those pasta salads that come in those containers and they're like, you try and pour them out and they just come in like a big glob because they have so much mayonnaise or sour cream in them. You can do this easily at home. This took me 5 minutes. I just had to boil the pasta, and all these other ingredients were just in my fridge or my freezer. So think about what you like, the flavors you like to combine, and you can throw it right into a pasta salad. Super, super easy. So I really encourage you guys to go and do this. So once again, in case you missed the very beginning, my name is Seanna Thomas. I'm a nutritionist. Paired up with the GTHL for these Nutrition Tuesdays, and we're having a lot of fun. If you have any questions, you can hop over to the Hockey Snacks Instagram page, give us a follow, and you can ask me any questions there. I'm always available to you guys for questions. As well, I'll be doing a Q&A next week, so any burning nutrition questions that you have, please submit them to the GTHL, and we'll be answering all of them next week for you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. I always really appreciate it, and this video will be posted on the GTHL IGTV, which will be awesome, so you can watch the replay. And if you are watching the replay, you know, feel free to post a picture if you make this. Post a picture, tag us, tag the GTHL, and let us know how you like it. Let us know how it fueled you up. We would love to hear about it. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you have a wonderful Tuesday, and we will see you right here, 3:30, GTHL Instagram, next Tuesday. Have an awesome afternoon. Bye, guys.